So I'm glad to know a few people are from PNC knowledge, from Guidewire and all, and some people are not. But let me explain you the flow how I deal with. This flow I start with PNC basic first of all because Guidewire is a kind of product which is part of PNC insurance market. From a layman perspective, of course, I'll start from a layman perspective because many people looking for career transformation from other sectors, which those people doesn't have any idea about the P&C insurance flow. So I'll start with the basics of P&C insurance. And from there onwards, we will be moving on to the Guidewire. Why Guidewire role, why Guidewire product is so prominent now. And as a Guidewire business analyst, what is our responsibilities and all that. Because the major difference you should understand is if you see the regular BA, okay, for example, if you're a regular BA wherein you want to provide a solution for any of your customer, you will be developing an application from the scratch. I'll give a generalized example so that you guys will understand better. For example, you are a BA. You have a customer who is from the banking side or for insurance customer you got. And that insurance customer want you to develop an application from the scratch because they have some problem. They want some insurance management system. So you need to collect the requirement from the beginning. You need to understand the business situation, all that, and you try to provide solutions from the scratch. That's how generally as a BA that we do. Because business analysts are the people who act as a liaison between business and technical community. That is what generally the BA role is. So you try to understand the problem from the scratch and you try to develop solution from the beginning as a business solution and how this can be translated into technology. That's how generally our journey goes. But whereas when it comes to the Guidewire, the difference is Guidewire is a product which is available. Okay, Guidewire product, we are not developing anything from the scratch because this product is developed. This product is online. This product is being used now by many people nowadays for last couple of years. So one thing fundamentally as a BA, when we are learning, you should understand is you are not developing any application from the scratch. Then what are we doing it? What are we doing is that when we want this to be configured according to the organization level, how this can be changed means what are the changes we want to make in this, how to make those changes. That kind of understanding is really required for you as a Guidewire business analyst. Means in the existing application, what are the required changes and all those has to be documented or those has to be turned as a user stories, and these should be given to the development team so that development team will make necessary changes on the application. So the fundamental difference of BA is this. So of course I'm not going to start PNC the basic. I am not starting it because today is the first session. I'm just giving you the whole and high-end responsibilities of a Guidewire and all that. Now, second thing is that when it comes to the Guidewire as a product by itself, Guidewire product have two options. Either a person can have on-premise version, a person can have cloud version. Both versions can be. That is one advantage in Guidewire because any people want to have Guideware, they want to migrate themselves into the Guideware. They have an advantage where they can go with any one, okay? Because some people want PolicyCenter, some people want only claim, some people want only claim BillingCenter. So advantage in Guidewire is that if you are opting for Guidewire on-premise version, you can take any one. Okay, let's say XYZ as an insurance company. They have customers from insurance sector. They want requirement only for PolicyCenter. Okay, because they want transform their services to PolicyCenter. They are already using old legacy policy management system for a long time. Now they are planning to transform themselves into Guidewire development. That is what generally happens. So they want someone who should have the knowledge over the Guidewire PolicyCenter side. So they'll buy only PolicyCenter. They don't need to buy ClaimCenter billing. Okay. So Guidewire advantage is that when someone is opting for Guidewire on-premise, they can have any one. Okay. They don't need to buy all the three. That is one advantage. Second advantage in Guidewire is Guidewire has a cloud version also, which generally we name after Insurance Now. The product name was that. Of course, Guidewire cloud version access won't be available for training. There is a limitation. So that's not possible. But generally, I'm saying it. Guidewire has an option for Guidewire Cloud, where the cloud migration has to happen. Either it can be in AWS or Azure, etc. Can be done. So these are the advantages and reasons behind many companies are transforming to the Guidewire part. Okay, this is what it was. Now, what are the different roles that you see? Because Mr. Venkat, as you are from Guidewire QSI, okay, that's what your experience was. So first of all, before we are learning into Guidewire Business Analyst, we must be knowing about what are the roles that you can see it in the Guidewire. So there were majorly, because Guidewire as a product by itself, okay, Guidewire as a product, okay, by itself, a P&C insurance based product by itself, which has three modules. One is PolicyCenter, ClaimCenter, third is BillingCenter. Okay. Generally, this PolicyCenter is majorly used to manage policy administrations. Policy administration means, for example, someone wants some vehicle insurance, two-wheeler or four-wheeler vehicle insurance. What customer do, right? Customer will submit the application to us. Who will be doing on his behalf? I'll tell you later. Okay. Customer will submit the application. So we process the application. We give a quotation to the customer. If customer is agreed upon, so that we'll send an invoice to the customer. If agreed, so if we pay, we generate the policy. Before that, we can bind the policy also. Okay. So policy administration is something can be done using PolicyCenter. Either it can be creation of policy, or it can be renewal, or it can be endorsement. Endorsement means changes. Okay, changes and all, or cancellation. Okay, all the four activities has to be performed under the Guidewire PolicyCenter. Guidewire PolicyCenter is something being used for that. Okay, one is for creation of policies, cancellations, endorsements, renewals. Everything can be done under the PolicyCenter. That is point number one. Second, generally ClaimCenter is for claims processing. Okay, this is used for claim processing. Let's say a person have any difficulty. Okay, for example, they have met with accident, right? So very first thing what customer do, policyholder will inform to the insurance company stating the condition. This is what the condition I am in. So now what claim people do, people will receive the claim, they will verify the person is having valid policy or not, what are the coverages the person is holding, having, right? So they verify everything. So once they have verified, if they have satisfied with it, then claim processing will be done. So this claim processing life cycle have three. One is claim submission. Once the claim is submitted, claims will be adjudicated and settlement. Adjudication means verify whether what is the situation, right? All that. Any queries, etc. Everything will be part of adjuster, or adjudication will be done by the adjuster, claim adjuster roles we have. Followed by the settlement. Claim settlement will be paid. This is all will be happens under the ClaimCenter. This is point number two. Point number three, Guidewire BillingCenter. BillingCenter is majorly used for billing. Okay, billing. Guidewire BillingCenter I am referring it. Guidewire billing. Guidewire billing means, for example, it can be for new billing. It can be new billing means, let's say we have given a quotation to the customer. Customer is agreed upon the quotation that is given. So we can go with Guidewire billing. Okay, this is all about the new, okay, new by Guidewire billing, wherein we send invoice to the customer. Customer is ready to pay. How is he paying? Either is he paying by check or is he paying by clearing houses through NACH or something of that kind, or through UPI payment or card payment, anything, new billing can be done. Or else renewals will happen. Okay, renewal. Renewal means if there is any due date is nearing by, customer will pay the renewals. That can be one. Or else sometimes uh, I don't say called as reimbursement, disbursement, I can say. Okay, I call it as disbursement. Disbursement means paying back. Okay, disbursement. This can be for multiple purposes. Sometimes customer has paid overpayment. If consider 500 is the due, 500 is the amount. Customer has paid 700 or 800 to us. 300 we have to send him, pay him back. Whether RV system can be done in manual way or automation way. That's a different story. Let's not get into that. But disbursement for that. Or sometimes cancellation of the policy for any reason. He wants to cancel the policy, right? He can cancel the policy so that whatever the dues, whatever the months he has used, we will be deducting that and rest amounts will be sending. This is all about the payment disbursement, overpayment, or any policy cancellations. Everything will be part of disbursements, etc. Everything will be involved in renewal, disbursements, all these. After the disbursement, next about the commissions. Commission means any insurance company, they get new business from the brokers or agents. We know that. They get new business to the insurance company. So insurance company will pay some X amount of money, 5% or something as a this thing to the what we call insurance commission to the agents, producers. Generally, we use called producer. So they will pay. This is all about the commissions, etc. Some companies say that commission they do because commission percentage vary. Commission structure will also vary from company to company. Some people say that whenever the customer has paid the premium, immediately we'll give you. Somebody say that it will take 30 days. Somebody say that if monthly twice, because every time you are paying means every day you have to generate commissions. Okay, that really takes a lot of time. Operational cost will also get very heavier. So what insurance company do? Insurance company nothing but insurer. Okay, insurer insured two people. Insured nothing but a customer who got benefited out of the insurance policy. Insurer, nothing but insurance company I'm referring to. So what insurance company do? Insurance company put two life cycle. Okay, one is every 30 days, every 45 days. For example, every 30 days they generate the commissions. Every 45 days, like that. Okay? That's how it is. This is all something will be part of commissions. This is also, these are the three modules you will be seeing in the Guidewire market. Okay, either it can be PolicyCenter, it can be billing, or it can be claims. Again, I'm repeating again, these are the products which are readily available. We are not developing anything from the scratch. But any insurance company, they want, okay, any insurance company, they want to use the Guidewire. Generally, they want some implementation partners. Implementation partners means some technical support, some outside external team is required. So what those people do is that those people have to understand and configure this require applications and giving it to them according to their business rules. According to the business rules means if you take one insurance company, the area of operations geographically, at the same time, the line of business they were belongs to is different from one another. Okay. So it depends on the area of operations geographically. Either it can be country or it can be state. Okay. Rules and regulations may vary. For example, if you take, let's say that, let us take India as an example here in our country. Whatever the rules in terms of the vehicle insurance or fitness certificate or something, renewals or may vary from state to state. For example, one state, they say that more than 10 years of old vehicle, we don't give insurance. If anybody want insurance, a person should have a fitness certificate for the vehicle. Some people say that no, 15 years old vehicle will not be insured at all. So that is one rule for one state due to many reasons, okay, due to pollution reason or anything. but that may not be the rule for a neighboring state. Okay, neighboring state can have a different rule altogether. So requirement to requirement, area of operations, that will vary. Those requirements has to be gathered as a BA. That's what something that we do. Implementation, of course, developer will be taken care of. So that's the reason why these guideware roles are as follows. Guideware roles are three. Okay, Guideware Business Analyst roles, that's what we are learning. Okay, we are in this role. Second, you will be finding Guideware Architect roles. Next, Guideware Developer roles. Next, Guideware Tester roles. Okay, QA, tester, whatever it is, right? So these are the four roles you will be finding in Guideware: Business Analyst, Architect, Developer, and Testing. These are the four roles you will be finding. So business analyst, we are the one who will be focusing more on understanding about the business situation. Okay, knowing about the business problems. Knowing about the business needs, scope. Finally, we come up with business solution. This is what as a BA that we do. So as part of business solution, when we are developing it from the scratch, okay, generally you require all the functional, non-functional, but you are not developing from the scratch here. But whatever the requirements you are taking from the business solution, for this business solution, what are all the requirements to be addressed? This is all as a BA that we do it. This can be in regular intervals, okay? Depends on, it's a continuous process. For example, given a situation of a customer. For example, customer is, let me write down here. For example, I'll take an example so that you guys will understand. Okay, for example, XYZ is an insurance company. Wants to transform their legacy policy administration system. They have a legacy policy management system, some mainframe based application they are using for a very long time. Consider, okay? Legacy policy administration system to Guideware developer, Guideware PolicyCenter. This is their requirement. Okay, that's what the requirement means. They have policy administration legacy earlier. Now, for any reason, for any business problem or the kind of reasons they have, business reasons, whatever it can be. So they want to migrate to Guideware PolicyCenter. That is their requirement. So for that, migration where the data has to be migrated, okay, from legacy to PolicyCenter, it has to be migrated. But just migration isn't sufficient, right? It has to be customized according to the examples that I have told you. So those understanding those situations, problems, what are all the solutions, everything as a BA in the front line that we do it. Okay, this is what as a BA that we do, front line. Second, Guideware Architect. Guideware Architect people provide the technical roadmap for the project. Technical roadmap. Technical roadmap means how the translation of non-functional requirements into solution related architecture. This is all about architects do that. Guideware architects we call it as. Next, Guideware developers are the people who develop the code. Code for the functionalities, okay? Using Gosu code programming, they'll be doing all that. This is all the developers do. So that part will be done by the testing team. Either it can be manual or automation testing. This will be done by the, okay, manual or automation testing will be done by the testing team. For manual, they use Jiffer scale, all that to write test cases. For automation testing, they have Postman API or BDD, Jerkin, at the same time, Karate framework we have. So that's a different story, right? So these are the four roles that you will be finding nowadays in the market required. Why? Because many companies are moving, transforming, right? So somebody want from PolicyCenter to BillingCenter, some policy legacy policy to Guidewire. Somebody for claim, somebody for billing. Requirements can be anything. Okay. So this is something. Uh, 1 minute. Huh? Yeah, 1 minute. Sorry. Yeah. So that's what generally people do. Right? People have different requirements. By considering these requirements into account, this is what generally we do. Understand? Clear? So if we are a BA, this is what. So what business analyst as a BA is that we do as a Guidewire business analyst. This is what it is. The first phase is called project analysis phase, where we try to understand about the business situation, problem, need, scope of the project, trying to understand what are the possible gaps in between. That's what we call it as gap analysis. Next, we will be participating in the feasibility study also. Feasibility study means how feasible the solution to be developed. Feasibility is not only alone business, it can be technical feasibility, budget should be feasible, timeline should be feasible. We'll be participating along with project management team and technical team. From there, requirements translation, translating business problem into user stories is something that we do because now and then we are writing all user stories. How to write user stories, everything that you will be learning here. So once we have gathered or translated all the requirements, etc., from there onwards, we try to analyze the customer needs, etc. So based on that, we must be having knowledge over the end-to-end policy billing claim flow. That is what something that you need to know because if you don't know the flow of the policy billing and claims, so where the requirements, what exactly the problem they were facing, we don't understand. The functionally UI flow is something that we require. That is what something that you will be learning under the Guidewire Business Analyst. So for that, what are the requirements, right? So we take some assumption-based examples will be taken. Just now I have given an example. Let's say, for example, customer has applied an application where in that customer application for auto insurance, we have identified one customer is having two, three traffic challans, okay, pending in his this thing. In his driver's history, we have identified. For our insurance company, there is a rule. If there is anybody is having traffic challans or accident history or any suspension of the license, it has to be converted as a high risk driver. System has to, and it should be sent to the underwriting team. This is the rule. Okay. That rule as a form of user story that we have to write. So the flow you should understand. If you know the flow of the application, so that you will be knowing about all these. That's what something the flow importance of flow is everything is required. In addition to this, we must be knowing about the business rules, as I told you, along with activity patterns. Business rules, if you're talking about PolicyCenter, underwriting rules are the business rules. When you talk about the ClaimCenter and all, the business rules can be different. Like it can be activity rules, it can be exposure rules, it can be reserve rules. Those things we have to do. So we have to make sure whatever the requirements that we understood should be given to the development team so that development team write the coding, integrations, configurations, everything will be done by them. So to communicate with them, there must be a medium has to be followed. Earlier days, we used to write documents like BRDs or now and then we are writing user stories. There can be many other, but we'll be taking some examples in one area. And if you are learning, then this is what something as a guide will be you have to perform. Understood? You're clear, Tamasi, Taranpreet, and Venkat.
Yeah, I'm good.
Clear? Any questions on this? Please go ahead. Please go ahead if you have any questions. Any questions? Please go ahead. Okay, right. So this is all about the session today, right? So I think I hope you understood. So we'll meet on future, right? So I'll start with PNC basics. So that's what I do. Okay, fine then. Thank you.
Thank you so much.